Hey everyone, it's Roxy Horror again. I am back to do my review of 28 Weeks Later. This is the second movie in the series of the 28s. I'm going to start this off by saying this review has spoilers, so if you haven't seen this movie, which I don't know how you went this long without having seen it, but you might want to stop this and go watch it and then come back and see what I have to say. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a comparison with the original. I think this gave more of a lines of a plot than the first one did, but it also, it kept the story moving, so it never felt stale or still. It just kept going and things didn't feel slow. They didn't feel rushed either. Everything just kind of fell into place the way that it should. It was very well done. I loved the bleak open ending of this one, and we will get more into that, but every single one had, or I'm sorry, the ending of this one was bleaker than the other one. The other one almost gave some sense of hope, a little bit, and then comparing, so both of these got into almost these metaphors of the military and how it's run. There were, in both of them, there were just killers for military leaders, and they both had a sense of mania. They were both a little not right in the head, that it almost got to the point where they were battling the military and then battling the zombies. I mean, the zombies they were battling, of course, as well, but it almost got to a point where it was okay, these military leaders are corrupt and insane, and we need to take them out as well. So I found that to be very interesting. Also, both of the movies had a sense of family loss. They really went into themes of what you would do when you are stuck in a situation, and you have your family around, and who would you save? How would you go about living your life and trying to survive in this situation with your family, and a lot of themes around that loss and what you would do in those situations. Both of them had relatively crazy beginning sequences. The second one I liked a little bit better than the first. I mean, the first basically explained how the zombies came to be and all of that. So, I mean, both of them had pretty crazy beginnings. But yeah, so that is the comparison. I'm going to go into what I liked about the movies. Oh my gosh, the zombie effects in this movie was just top notch. I love how their eyes change to red when they're affected by the virus. It just goes into that kind of, I mean, I guess it's a kind of metaphor for seeing red. These people start attacking other humans and almost murderous and cannibalistic, and when you see red, you're so angry that you don't know what's going on and your mind is just on overdrive and reacting. So I kind of like how they brought that factor into there. Oh my gosh, the blood and gore is so good in this movie. Like, it is so good to where I was slightly getting sick, but not really. It doesn't really affect me in that kind of way. But yeah, it was just it was done very well. I just, it just when, like, even when the zombies are, like, puking up blood and stuff like that, like, it looked very real. So, kudos to that. I really loved, as I was talking about before, this sense of family loss and just the family aspect of these movies. I really enjoyed, because you're getting a different perspective from all the different people, and I thought that was really well done. So these movies, as we talk about these zombie films, you'll see this theme pop up a lot, where it's a look at different people and what they would do during a crisis, and I really like how this movie went into it. So, you know, in the beginning of the movie, this entire beginning sequence is just brilliant, and it shows what everyone in this family would do during this crisis, and they're living pretty normally for being in a zombie apocalypse. And they're all sitting around a table, they're about to eat, and then all of a sudden there's this pounding on the door, and it's a child, and he's being chased, and they're just like, well, he's a kid, like, we have to let him in. And so they let him in, and of course then all the chaos ensues, and zombies come in on the place, and, you know, the father he makes his way, I think he's like up in the attic or something, and he's crawling around, and he hears the family getting devoured. He's trying to help them, but then he goes off on his own, and then he gets stranded in, I guess it's a bedroom, but he gets stranded in there, and he opens the door, and there's a zombie on the outside, and his family is screaming for him to help him. His wife is screaming, like, help me, whatever, and he decides she's gone, and he jumps out the window and runs, and as he looks back, he sees his wife at the window, and she's pounding on it, and she looks so betrayed that he left her there to die. It's rough, and he's running, and then he's in survival mode. He's in flight mode, where he, like, gets into a canoe, he pushes people off of it because the zombies are coming, so he's, like, not even stopping to help anybody. He's out of there. And his selfishness comes back to bite him in the end. Which brings me to my next point. The father dies, and he kills the mom instantly. And then he goes after his son later in the movie, and that's very sad. And his daughter has to kill him, which, I mean, she's just distraught about the whole thing. She was trying to save her brother this whole time, and, like, then the brother gets eaten, and she just, I mean, it's very, very sad. And she mourns the death of him. So, I mean, it's just, there's a lot that, and she risks her life to save him. So, unlike the father, who's extremely selfish, she risks everything to save her brother, and he doesn't make it in the end, which is really sad. Loved the ending. The ending is very bleak, and it's basically a look into what happens 28 weeks after this 28 weeks sequence. And the helicopter has crashed, or something along those lines. There's radio interference going on, and it looks like they were able to get out, but we're not really sure. And then the zombies, there's zombies running towards the Eiffel Tower. So there could be two interpretations of this, which one of them could be that one of the passengers on the plane or on the helicopter was infected and ended up bringing the infection to another area of the world. Or the disease was already in Paris, and they were somehow either killed, or who knows if they survived, because it's kind of open-ended. So I found that to be really intriguing, and it sets you up for another movie to find out, hey, what happened to these people, if we ever do find that out. Maybe they did die. We don't know. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of the movie. Now I'm going to go into what I didn't like about it. Oh my god, the father's decisions were so infuriating. Just even from the beginning, it was just one bad decision after another. Like, I understand being in flight mode, but leaving your family to die is just it's terrible. And you could tell that he felt bad, but then he lied to his kids about it, and that really messed with me a lot, because I mean the kids knew and they were like, yeah, do you believe that shit that he told us? And they went out to search for the mother anyway and found out that she was alive. So I mean, there's that ends up happening. He left the mom to die, then finds out she's alive, goes into the room, kisses her. So who knows if she had the disease, which she did. He kissed her and then got the disease, and then ended up killing her like immediately afterwards. Which, I mean, I just, that also was like a big blow. And I understand how the mother fit into the story to make the other characters grow, but I feel like she was just there as an exposition dump. Like, she was someone who was immune to the disease, and they could have figured more things out with her being alive, and they were about to do tests on her, and then she died. And it was just like, okay, so we're only here for an exposition, but that would have been a really cool story to explore more out of. So that just kind of bothered me. Wasn't really a fan of that. Oh yeah, the military. So I guess they were supposed to just go after everyone, but I feel like if you knew that one of your men was alive, right, and he was basically like pushing the car with the people in it, and they just like set him on fire. Why, I don't know. Maybe they didn't see his uniform or something along those lines, but the corruption in the military in this movie was it was pretty wild. And then like the scene, I did enjoy the scene, but the scene where they're like killing it, they're just like killing everyone on the ground, and it's like, wow, like that's what corruption looks like. Is like, okay, well, we can't save anybody in this scenario, so we're just gonna kill everybody. And it's like, okay, that so I mean, I get it, and I actually enjoyed the scene where they did like open fire on everybody, but it also goes into that like, why would you kill one of your own kind of thing. And maybe it's just from my empathetic perspective, that I just feel like it was a lot for me to handle. Yeah, so I mean, those overall, the movie is fantastic. It's one of the best movies that I've watched so far. I do kind of like Dawn of the Dead remake a little better than this, but this is a very close second. And that might change in time. I might make this a little higher, but just overall, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's not perfect, but it's damn near it. So yeah, it's a good movie. The next movie I'm going to review is Brain Dead, or Dead Alive, which I haven't seen this film, and I've always been interested in it, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully you guys tune in, and stay spooky, everyone. Bye.